the heat in Eslamshahr that May felt endless, like the city was holding its breath. 24-year-old Elaheh Navabi was last seen leaving her night shift at a small boutique on Firdausi Street. She waved to her friend, smiled faintly, and walked into the dim stretch of road that led toward the bus stop. She never made it home. Her disappearance rippled quietly at first. A missing poster here, a whispered conversation there. But when her body was found 10 days later, discarded near a construction site on the outskirts of the city, the silence shattered. It was not only grief that spread, it was anger. Elaheh's mother, Fariba Navabi, could still hear her daughter's laughter echoing in their small apartment. She replayed the last call they had. Elaheh had said, "I'll be home soon, Maman." The words looped in her head like a curse. Detective Arman Rezaei was assigned to the case 2 days later. At 42, Arman carried the exhaustion of a man who had seen too many closed files and too few answers. He stood at the site where Elaheh had vanished, watching the faded chalk marks on the pavement. "No cameras on this stretch," the officer beside him muttered. "They've all gone dead for months." "Months?" Arman asked, his jaw tightening. "Or conveniently for this week?" The police questioned Elaheh's co-workers at the boutique. None had seen anything unusual. But one, a timid cashier named Nasreen, mentioned a man who sometimes lingered outside. He always asked for Elaheh. Said he was an old friend. The CCTV footage from nearby shops had mysteriously vanished. Arman felt the pattern forming. In his years as a detective, he'd learned that missing footage was rarely an accident. That night, as Fariba lit a candle by her daughter's photo, she whispered prayers through trembling lips. "Just tell me why," she said to the empty room. A week later, a construction worker found something buried beneath sandbags at a half-built site on the city's edge. Arman was among the first to arrive. When the tarp was lifted, the sight was enough to make him look away. Elaheh's body was wrapped in her own headscarf. The medical report later revealed she had been strangled. No signs of robbery, no defensive wounds. It was as if she had known her killer. Arman returned to the precinct and stared at the map of Eslamshahr on his wall. Each red pin marked a case that had gone unsolved. "Not this one," he muttered. "Not her." The investigation turned toward Reza Marabi, a 30-year-old contractor who had been working near the boutique. His phone records placed him near Elaheh's last known location. When questioned, Reza appeared nervous but defiant. "I didn't kill her," he said. "She wanted to leave the country. She was meeting someone that night. Ask her friends." But the inconsistencies in his statements piled up. Witnesses claimed he had argued with Elaheh 2 weeks before her disappearance. Still, without CCTV or direct evidence, Arman's hands were tied. Then Officer Mina found something. Hidden within the boutique storage room, a cracked phone belonging to Elaheh. Inside were voice notes. One of them ended mid-sentence, the last words trembling, "Reza, please, don't." Arman ordered Reza's arrest. Under interrogation, the contractor finally broke down. He and Elaheh had dated briefly. She ended it after learning he was already engaged. He couldn't accept it. "She said she'd ruin my name," he muttered. "I just wanted her to stop. I didn't mean." His confession came out in fragments, half denial, half guilt. But something still gnawed at Arman. The missing CCTV, the missing reports, the delay in search orders. Too many silences. The press got hold of the story. Soon, the streets of Tehran buzzed with outrage. Protests grew, demanding reform and protection for women. Elaheh had become more than a victim. She was a symbol. Weeks later, as the trial began, Arman visited Fariba once more. She greeted him with tea and silence. "I want to thank you," she said softly. "Not for catching him, but for listening." Arman bowed his head. "I only wish we had found her sooner." That night, he walked through Elaheh Street again. The lamppost still carried her faded poster. He looked up at the flickering light and wondered how many more would vanish before someone fixed the darkness above their heads. In Tehran's heat, the candlelight at the Navabi home still burned. But now it burned not for mourning, only remembrance. Months later, a journalist interviewed Fariba for a story about the reforms inspired by Elaheh's case. "What do you want people to remember about your daughter?" she asked. Fariba smiled faintly, tears glimmering in her eyes. She was brave enough to speak. That's what they should remember. The light she left behind. Outside, Eslamshahr hummed with new streetlights installed after her case, each one a silent monument to a woman who had walked home in the dark. And though justice had come late, it had come. For once in Iran's endless night there was light.